Wah, wah, wah.
Yes, the mic was muted. So let's go through that whole spiel yet again. So welcome everyone to the Pitskill.io Porsche Cup sponsored by SimQuips. I'm your host Roy Weller, and tonight we have got round 5 of the series here at the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, or more formally known as Imola. And we've got a very dark and wet race for you tonight. And currently it is a Johan Leff leading the way, though Reese Tattersall is on an absolute flyer at the moment. Just one corner to go. This could be provisional pole for Tattersall as he comes around the final kink across the start-finish line. And first of our drivers to drop into the 1 minute 47, so we're 1 minute 47.862. Reese Tattersall put himself on provisional pole with 7 minutes remaining in this session. But Johan Leff, not one to back down from a challenge, is going faster still through the first sector. He's got plenty of time in hand as he yeets it over the curbs of the first sector. And while we have a little bit of a lull in the proceedings, we'll take another quick look at the standings. As Reese Tattersall leading the way, as the only of the lead drivers to take part in all 4 rounds so far, and has won every single one of them so far. So this man behind the standing sheet, Johan Leff, needs to start getting some wins under his belt. He wants to take the championship away from Tattersall. There are 3 drop rounds in this series, so still every chance for Leff, but needs to start taking some victories away from Tattersall. And then in P3 we've got Robert Weidbeck, who is closely followed by Von Liebenstein, McCarthy and Matthew Parry. So still plenty to play for in this series. As Leff comes to cross the line and retake pole position. And with that battle simmering down for a while, we can take a look through the rest of our field. Another driver who is finding himself some pace, Kenny Crows, currently up by a second on their previous best, and I think has just overcut that chicane, invalidates their lap, so will not be improving this time around. As Samuel von Liebenstein takes it round the first sector into the hairpin corner, where drivers are going to have to be careful on the first lap in these conditions. Very easy to get caught out by a car in front of you. And as I look through the rest of the grid for tonight's race, quite a few familiar faces, familiar names in there. We do, as always, have a few new joiners, as I believe Sven Hondrovic is a new joiner to Pitskill. And we also have a few joiners from our 3-hour endurance race at Bathurst a couple of weeks ago, as I recognise the names of Horvath, and we have Young as well, 2 Revolution sim racing drivers. Do not believe we have Young tonight, but a very warm welcome to our endurance racers, as Horvath, going to need to take that one back to the pits. And as ever, a reminder that this series brought to you in collaboration with Chris Wright the owner of the SimQuips YouTube channel, who perhaps foolishly put his name to this series. And oh, I thought he was going to brake properly for that corner, but nope. Parks it off in the gravel, and we'll have a couple of minutes to get back out there for another lap. As Sam McCarthy just 0.02 of a second behind Sawyer, and is going strong on this lap, although Sawyer also finding some time. Looking close at the top of the times. As McCarthy catching up to the car ahead, although I swear that said 41. It does say 41 on the front of the car. There are not 41 cars in this race. So, very confusing trying to read the position number off the front of that car. McCarthy. Just 2 corners to go, and we'll get a very helpful slipstream from the car ahead as he comes down towards the start-finish line. This should see him jump ahead of Sawyer into that vast chasm of times between P4 and P5. 0.8 of a second separating them. Really, this top 4 in a league of their own, as the top of this Porsche Cup field does usually seem to be. As we're getting a late charge from Leon Hopp, who gets caught out by the back marker going deep into the corner, tries to follow them through, not realising that they're braking deep themselves to avoid the corner, and that was a lap that was 0.4 up on their previous best for Hopp. Could have been in contention for pole position. But alas, loses it there as Reese Tattersall crosses the line with a 1:47.5 and takes provisional pole position away from Leff. So as ever, it is Tattersall and Leff who are fighting over that pole position, and Leff just has enough time to get it around the rest of this lap and start a final flyer. Needs to find 0.3 of a second if they want to take pole position. As we've still got a number of drivers who have yet to set a lap, so if any of that pack of 4 can find a lap time, they will get into, well, we'll get to jump a couple of positions ahead, as Elliott is the, Katchelmeyer is the last to have set a valid lap time, although that is a 2 minutes point 0, so some 12 seconds off the pole position. As Robert Weibeck is bringing out the yellow flags, as was Johan Leff. So Leff's planned attack on pole position has come to an end, and our last hope lies with Leon Hopp. He needs to find 6.5 of a second, a tall order with only 2 corners left to go. We've also got a late charge from Luke Tranmer, finding 1.3 seconds in this lap. This could see him jump quite far up the order as he comes to cross the line. Currently P25, and as he crosses the line, jumps up to P19, so that is a good improvement there. As Hopp crosses the line, finds 0.2, but not enough to change his position, as far apart as those times are at the top. So it will be Reese Tattersall, followed by Johan Leff and Leon Hopp for the start of this race, as Sam McCarthy approaching the final 2 corners now in the hope to try and get himself up into P5. P4 looking somewhat unattainable with the gulf in times, as he charges his way towards the line. Looks like he's up by about 2/10, and this should secure him P5 for the race start. Good lap from McCarthy. And now we just wait on our final driver, Matthias Peltzer, who comes across the line up into P17. And there we have it. Everyone, the grid for tonight's race. We'll go for a short break and we'll be back. The formation lap. Welcome back, everyone, as we get this formation lap underway. It will be Rhys Tattersall leading this pack away from pole position. Behind him is Johan Leff, the yellow and black car. Behind him, newcomer Leon Hopp in the orange and black car. So remember these cars well. Behind him is Samuel von Liebenstein and the familiar livery of Sam McCarthy. Behind him we have got Weidbeck and Sosinski in the green livery car. John Sawyer in the yellow and black car. And we have Tom Jarovich in the pink and blue striped car. Herx, white and black. We've got Kenny Crows, the black and green car there. Rode by Chris Wright, our series sponsor, in his SimQuips baby blue car. Behind him is Busso the Bulldozer in his green, red and white livery. Then in two almost matching liveries we have got Cabrera and Rebchenko. I believe that is a no practice gang livery there on Cabrera. That's how you tell it apart, with the white text. I hope he's kept true to the name and has not practiced for this event. In P16 we have got Anshao. Behind him is Matthias Peltzer. And which one of the Quips liveries is he running tonight? I believe that is... Ooh, we can get a better camera angle of it. Nope, we can't. Thanks, ACC. I believe that's a SimQuips livery. You can tell from the little whirly thing in the middle. There we go. Yep, it's a SimQuips livery. Behind we have got Simon Eklund, followed by Luke Tranmer, who's one out of position, as it is Horvath, who's actually P20 behind Tranmer. Then we've got Dees, Svoboda, Lorenzon in his orange and black liveried car, which we've seen so much of this season. Mikulak in the purple car, Demore in the red and black car, Nitro in the green car, and Dyke in the mint. Elliott, Katchelmeyer in the Leap, even though I'm trying car. Kusinskas and Johal, Schricker and Levinson all opting to start from the pit lane. And who is that right at the... Oh, that's Schricker. That is awful for Schricker. Right at the back of the pit lane. That is going to be one hell of a terrible start for him. As we return to the front of the field, let's hope everyone can keep it nice and sensible for the first lap as Rhys Tattersall gets ready to lead this pack away. Actually looks like Johan Leff has got a nose ahead, but it's Rhys Tattersall with the better start as Leff moves across to cover off Hopp. Hopp managed to get a nose alongside as they come into turn one. It is Rhys Tattersall leading Johan Leff, with Leon Hopp looking around the outside. Von Liebenstein there tucked into fourth, is going on the attack against Hopp, moving to the inside as Hopp leaves him space. Von Liebenstein is going to try and take this one deep onto the brakes. Can he throw it around the outside? Looks like he's going to be shown the gravel as he is slippery out on those curbs. As Sam McCarthy gets taken by Weidbeck around the outside. But McCarthy better on the throttle, manages to get the drive out the corner, and Weidbeck doesn't move up into P6. As behind Sosinski, going for the move up the inside of Weidbeck. A little bit too far away to make that one stick. As I think we've dropped someone from the session or returned to garage. I'm not sure what's happened there, but I think everyone's jumped up a position. As up at the front of the field, it is Reese Tattersall leading Johan Leff as they come through the final two corners. These two having dropped the pack behind them. As Weidbeck trying to make the move on Sosinski, didn't get it past and has now been passed by Sawyer. What happened down there? Coming down into the second to last corner. Sosinski actually looking... Oh no, Weidbeck... Oh, just running wide there by Weidbeck actually. And that's what allows Sosinski and Sawyer through. I think there's a car off in the background as well. Is that Hrabchenko, who is also dropped back now behind... Oh no, sorry, that's Konjovic, who's behind Hrabchenko. As Sven runs it wide off the circuit. Manages to come back on without losing too much there. As Kenny Crows trying to throw one up the inside of the second chicane. Just battling well with Weidbeck here, who looked out on those positions early on in the race, throwing it deep on the brakes, trying to get it run to the outside of the chicane. And Weidbeck so far holding on to the position as we ascend the hill. Crows all over the back of Weidbeck, but not the space here to go for a move. As they head down towards Acqua Minerale. This time in this race, a bit more Aqua than Minerale. As von Liebenstein trying to go around the outside of Hop. A bold move, and that one pays off for him. Superb work there from von Liebenstein. We get that one from a different angle. Committed on the brakes. Gets the nose just enough ahead to give himself the authority to head towards the second apex in a beautiful move. Moves himself up into P3. But Hop sticking with him as they come down onto the long start-finish straight here at Imola. But just far enough ahead to be able to hold on to this position. As behind this pack there is quite the train forming. I was going to say behind Kenny Crows, but really it's starting with John Sawyer out in front. But it's behind Crows where the pack really starts to merge together. And actually even behind Konjerovic, it's even closer as Luke Tramner tries to go around the outside. Konjerovic says no thank you, closes the door on him. And they're all squabbling over position there as Peltzer and Eklund side by side coming into the second chicane. There's a bump between them as Eklund heads onto the grass, rejoins safely, leaving plenty of space for the outside as he loses positions. We've got yellow flags out for Tranmere, who's falling so far down the order I can't find him. I guess this one from the helicam. Oh, just a little bit too much speed into the corner, a little bit too much throttle on the exit curb. And that sent Tranmere round into the wall. He's going to have to rejoin at the back of this pack, and that is a lot of time that Tranmere has lost in that incident. As it looks like that is Peltzer going around the outside of Lorenzon for P16. And that's a bold move into Acqua Minerale. Committed on the brakes. Lorenzon maybe a little earlier on brakes than he would usually. Just wants to give that space. Not certain how the brakes are gonna, or how the car's gonna respond on that inside line on the brakes, and Peltzer taking advantage of it. As we've got more action at the back with Anshu and Cabrera side by side. Anshu trying to go around the outside. Cabrera's stuck the position. Got the racing line as Anshu running wide, having to be delayed on the throttle. This could open the door for D's. There's actually Van Dijk behind who's getting even closer as well. This track is providing some real squabbles here for these Porsche Cup cars. Can be tricky to try and overtake in a GT3, but yeah, give them some rain. It's a car which doesn't have any TC, and well, certainly provide a lot of entertainment for us as Daniel D's off onto the gravel and now having to struggle to keep it within the racing surface. This is going to open things up for Van Dijk. And my voice is beginning to suffer as Van Dijk gets the move made up the inside of D's. And now it's Cabrera coming around the outside of Michalak. I'm sure these guys will give me a rest at some point, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. As Cabrera just having to settle in behind Michalak as they crest the hill. And in case the guys right at the back of this field were feeling left out, De Moor going around the outside of Leveson. Oh, I think a little bit too much on the outside as he gets a couple of wheels out on the grass and doesn't get the car turned in. But it was a valiant attempt there from Florent De Moor. As Svoboda and Lorenzon go side by side into the chicane, both of them chonking a handful of curb, and Lorenzon managing to keep it on the racing surface means he slows down right in the path of all the cars behind, and I think this is going to cause absolute mayhem as we come down into the second to last corner. So many cars nose to tail. Cabrera takes the opportunity, knowing the cars ahead are going to be slowed, mugs the position away from D's and is up into P22. With all this battling happening in the mid-pack, let's not lose sight of what's happening up front. There's John Sawyer and Weidbeck side by side through the second chicane as Kenny Kroes absolutely launches it over the chicane. As they crest the hill, it's Sawyer ahead, but Kenny Kroes trying to follow him through. He's going to get a nose alongside for the fast left-hander and, well, commits to the move. Kenny Kroes, so far, nose ahead of Weidbeck as they come down into Aqua Minerale. He's going to try and carry the speed around the outside. Does so. Does he get it slowed down enough for the exit? Nice and neatly out onto the curb. Weidbeck, being careful through the corner, has lost another position to Busso. So in all that battling, well, Weidbeck now finds himself down in P10 as Busso muscles his way through up into P8. Look away from a moment, and all changes here in the mid-pack. As now Kenny Kroes is right in the slipstream of Busso, moves out of the slipstream. I'm not sure if just looking to get some more water onto those tyres, as yep, seems to be hunting the wet patches. Not sure if he perhaps overpressured those tyres as Kenny Kroes goes hunting for puddles. This is going to open up an opportunity for Robert Weidbeck, who looks towards the inside, thinks better of it, but confident taking much more curb than Kroes. He's got the run through the fast left-hander and has now got the inside line for the second chicane. Is he going to be bold on the brakes? Weidbeck taking the inside line. He's trying to sweep it round to the outside. He's going to be able to pin the throttle. He's going to have the inside line for the hairpin. They come down towards the apex and our camera loses sight of them. It is Weidbeck who manages to keep his nose ahead of Kroes and now is fully ahead. And with 20 minutes still remaining of this race, will be interesting, as Andy Hudson says in chat, to see whether anyone does opt for the slicks. To my eyes, with the amount of rain still coming down, would seem premature, as we have got yellow flags out for our race leader, Reese Tattersall. Is this a mistake through the chicane? An uncharacteristic mistake from Tattersall as he hops over both apexes and out into the wall. And loses multiple positions because of it, now down into P4. And, well, I think that might give us an answer as to whether anyone will risk the slick tyre, as Reese Tattersall finding things a little bit slippery out there. As this battle behind Busso continues. And Kenny Crow's still hunting for puddles, sweeps all the way to the outside. As they head into the braking zone for the chicane. And Alexander Hrabchenko, on the back of this pack, can just afford to sit patiently for a little while, I think. There's every chance that someone ahead might make a mistake, as we see Horvath getting very squirrely coming through the second chicane. As Chris Wright has made his way past Kenny Crows. What has happened here as we come down towards the hairpin, as Kenny Crows goes deep, manages to save himself from running out onto the grass there. The AstroTurf comes up just in time to save him. But Chris Wright now up into P10 in this race. As George Perks dropping a number of positions. As it looks like running wide at the top of the hill, just falls all the way back behind both Horvath and Hrabchenko. And as this replay ends, we'll try and see what has happened to von Liebenstein as they come into the second to last corner. Out onto the... I'm not sure if they touched the gravel there, but certainly out onto the curbs in a big snap of oversteer. And that has allowed both Hop and Tattersall to come through. I think there's another back marker within there as well. So von Liebenstein was running P2, now down in P4. As Crows and Horvath battle over P11, with Hrabchenko looking to get involved in this one. Needs to pick his horse. Who is he going to follow through the corner? In the end, decides to back out of it entirely and not follow anyone through. As Kenny Crows bounces over the curbs, gets a little bit of a snap, as does Horvath. Neither of them going to get a great run out of this corner, but it's Horvath who's got the inside. Kenny Crows leaving him space as they sweep through the first and the second apexes. Neater exit for everyone involved there. As George Perks back on the back of this battle. As Horvath getting a little snap of oversteer. Perhaps could have opened the door to Perks there, but a little too far back in the traction zone. As Tadeusz Sosinski really working at the wheel there, managing to save the back of the car as he dropped down through Aqua Minerale. Drops back a little further from John Sawyer, but still within grasping distance. He aims to close down the gap through the Variante Alta. And that pack of Busso back is catching on to this battle for P6. There's Alexander Hrabchenko. Still sitting right on the back of Horvath. Not really having a look anywhere, but just settling in, waiting for mistakes as Kenny Crows again out puddle hunting. And it's behind these, Simon Eklund right in the slipstream. Oh, we're going to ignore that as we've got yellow flags out for Wright and Crows. What's happened here? Into the braking zone for turn one. As they come sweeping. Oh, Kenny Crows just taking a bit too much curb there. Unsettles the car. Tries to carry too much speed through. As I think Chris Wright was perhaps struggling through the corner. But there was a bit of a send there from Kenny Crows that took them both off the racing circuit. And it's all changed behind them. As I think numerous cars swapping around. As, Chris Wright Yellow flag's out again. Finds himself in the wall. So what has happened here? Oh, a little bit too eager on the throttle. Perhaps rear damage from that contact with Crows. And wow, has only just got himself back running again. So that's some 15 seconds spent facing the wall. As well, now we've got an incident from Kenny Crows. Heading down into Acqua Minerale on the brakes. Out onto the curbing, and the car just stepping away from him there, under braking. And contact in the rear from, I believe that was Simon Eklund. And now Crows alongside both Dees and Lorenzon, as Cabrera joins in this battle as well as they head down towards the second to last corner. So far, this race has been 17 minutes of pure madness. I think I'm going to need a stiff drink after this one just to relax the vocal cords. As Marco Lorenzon leaves this Acca down towards the first chicane. As he's looking to the outside. Is he going to try and throw it deep on the brakes? He does not. Actually, worth pointing out one thing I've, to my discredit, only just noticed. Daniel D's running the old Porsche Cup car. I think he might be the only one in the field to be running the old 991. So there we go. A little bit of intrigue there for you. As they come round through the hairpin to crest the hill once more. Daniel D's still on the back of Lorenzon. And interesting that we haven't actually seen that much of a deal of greater top speed for Daniel D's, as that is one of the things that this old Porsche Cup car is known for. A bit more slippery, a bit narrower, a bit less GT3 inspired with all the new aerodynamic features on the new 992. As Weidbach has made his way past Busso. Oh, in the end, perhaps a mistake there from Busso, as that speed difference looked quite considerable, as Weidbach was just able to sweep around the outside down towards the second to last corner and pulls out a reasonable gap. Oh, as well, we've got a little bit of a coming together behind. So what has happened here? Was this to Lorenzon as they come down into the braking zone for the second to last corner? Daniel D's. Oh, well, actually, what looked like it could have been absolute carnage was, well, just two cars taking themselves out. Oh, as we've got yellow flags for Horvath. I think I'm spending most of this race in replays than watching the live action, but here we go again. As Horvath brings it. Oh, I think just taking too much speed into the first part of that chicane, trying to get it slowed and turned, just oversteers through the corner. Oh no, don't go 3 wide through there. Oh my God, my heart nearly stopped as they try and take it 3 wide through the hairpin. For those of you watching, I will point out these races do have safety rating enabled, or as we should call it, pit rep for the Pitskill crowd. And well, Kenny Crows not caring about that one iota as he sends himself straight through the corner, somehow not collecting anyone, and only, well, I think he's sending himself through every corner now as we see him disappear off of Acqua Minerale. Kenny, the brake pedal is the one next to the accelerator. FYI. As Rhys Tattersall has clawed his way back up to within 9/10 of a second to Leon Hopp ahead. As we've got yellow flags out for Weidbach. As what's happened here? Oh, and I think just a little bit of an optimistic send there from Weidbeck up into the inside of Szynski, and that has cost Weidbeck a number of positions. We'll check back in with Reese Tattersall, who's continuing to chase down Hop and making liberal use of the track limits there. I'm not sure how these Porsche Cup cars are treating track limits in the wet these days. We did have a little bit of a fiasco out in Spa last season when track limits at Eau Rouge were purely optional by the looks of things, but hopefully it's a little stricter here. As behind these, Busso up on the back of Szynski, but absolutely fluffs the chicane and drops back another half a second from Szynski. He's going to have to make up that gap all over again. Reese Tattersall absolutely caning it around the chicane. You can see how much slip angle he's getting on that rear as he throws the car into the corner. Really confident with the way this car grips up. As we've seen time and time again, Reese Tattersall... well, I don't know what's happened there, but I'm certainly going to try and find out, as our favourite liveried car finds itself pointing in the wrong direction. As Harold Katchelmeyer comes up, collects it all on his own, and sympathy stop from Leveson there? I mean, he definitely can't think he was involved in that one, right? Oh, it's a little sad, actually. I feel sorry for Katchelmeyer just having to wait there while everyone passes, and unfortunately I'm stuck in this replay for a while. Okay, as Van Dijk sending one up the inside of wherever we are on track. First chicane, there we go. Ooh, Van Dijk getting very slippery on the exit there. Could open an opportunity to Svoboda, who just sits in behind. But Reese Tattersall and Hop side by side through the final corner. Reese Tattersall gets the position. We saw the end of it. Let's see how he set this one up. Oh, in the end, I think it was just Hop making a little bit of a mistake there, going too deep. Reese Tattersall capitalising on it, going up the inside. A little bit of a tap between them. That's a little bit of a door banging. That's just racing. And Reese Tattersall up into P2. Recovering from that earlier mistake. As behind, Busso on the tail of Suzuki. As they head through the chicane. Both drivers pushing hard at this point. As it looks like Suzuki's got the better run out of the corner. And now the battle for P2 is hotting up as Leon Hop, not giving this one up, is stuck to the back of Reese Tattersall. And slowly but surely joining this party is Samuel von Liebenstein. As we've got yellow flags out for George Perks, who on the throttle a little too eagerly there on the exit curb, and exactly the same incident we saw out for Luke Tranmer earlier in this race. That exit curb catching out numerous drivers in this race. There's Leon Hop trying to get into that slipstream of Reese Tattersall. Just over 4 minutes remaining of this race. There's some 6-second gap to Johan Leff leading this race. in a commanding position, and I'd have to say, assuming he can keep it together for the rest of this race, should be a good position for him to claw back some points in the overall championship. There's more yellow flags for Kenny Crows. What has happened to Crows this time? As he gets on the brakes. Oh, turns it in, lights up the rears, and away we go. Or just missing the Armco there on the outside. There's Cabrera in the spray of Eklund ahead. And Cabrera more confident in using the curbs. He's right on the back of Eklund into the hairpin as Eklund runs very wide out of the corner. And Cabrera getting a little eager on the throttle. You just hear the rears spin up. And loses a little bit of drive out of the corner, but Cabrera on the hunt. As we have yellow flags out for Schricker with the appropriately named SimQuips livery. And see how did he bin it this time. And this time I think, is it the exit curb again? The exit curb strikes again, and Roland Schricker into the wall. And as Roland drives away from that one, Leon Hopp keeping it close with Reese Tattersall. As this trio are still dropping further back from Johan Leff. And Reese Tattersall has back marker traffic, but we have yellow flags for Leff. And I think I might have gone back a little bit too far. Apologies, this is a 30-second replay. It's meant to hit 15 seconds. But we did see that back marker ahead got a little bit stranded, so let's see what happened through Aqua Minerale. Oh, as the back marker already seeming to be very sideways, now extremely and just snaps back the other way. And that's why we say, ladies and gentlemen, if your car is sliding, hold your brakes. As that incident did cost Reese Tattersall, not Reese Tattersall, it cost Johan Leff 3 seconds. Now Reese Tattersall is just 3 seconds back. And with this being the final lap of the race, Tattersall's just going to have to be hoping that Leff is carrying considerable damage on that car. Can see his rival up ahead as we follow Johan Leff through the remainder of the first sector. And now the pressure is on for our race leader. You just see Reese Tattersall emerging around the corner behind, but looks like Johan Leff has got this one under control. And Reese Tattersall giving it absolutely everything as bulldozer bustle into the wall. Oh, and we've seen that one before. Just a little bit too much steering angle through the first part of the chicane. And we've got yellow flags out for von Liebenstein, who was in that battle with Tattersall and Hopp until just moments ago, now pointing the wrong direction. But we're going to have to leave that one there as our race leader, Johan Leff, comes out of the final corner to take the win here at Imola. And to put his championship quest back on track, Johan Leff with his first win of the season will be followed home by Reese Tattersall in P2, so not as big a swing as it could have been in the standings. Leon Hopp, our new driver for this race, taking home P3. And Sam McCarthy inherits P4 off of Samuel von Liebenstein after that late race spin. And P6 will be John Sawyer. And he will be followed by the pair of Suzuki and Hrebchenko. And after bulldozering the wall is Bulldozer Busso over the line to take P9. And rounding out the top 10 for tonight's race is Matthias Peltzer. Then have Horvath. Oh, my timing tower is getting awfully confused as drivers switch around everywhere. There's Perks, Dees, Lorenzon, Eklund, Rera, Wright, Crows, Mikulak. Mikulak yet to finish as he comes around final corner down towards the start finish line. And then it will be Anshu, followed closely behind by Luke Tranmer. And our final driver to finish on the lead lap will be Nitro. But congratulations to our podium sitters, Johan Leff, Reese Tattersall and Leon Hopp. This has been the Pitskill.io Porsche Cup sponsored by SimQuips. If you would like to take part in any future rounds, please do take a look at the referral link in the description of this video below. Until next time, I have been your host, Roy Weller, and next week, the Porsche Cup will be heading to the Hungaroring. So I'll see you next week, but don't go anywhere, as we will be back very shortly with the highlights from tonight's race.